How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is the final chapter in this trilogy that surprisingly has been pretty great so far. If you told me 9 years ago when the first one came out that this will be a good series of films so far, I would be pretty surprised. I wasn't interested in that first movie when it came out, then I saw it. I loved it. That's kind of a masterpiece in my opinion. The second one I think is almost as good as the first one, which is a rarity for a film that is so good. That first movie. Berk is continuing to continue its coexistence with the dragons, and Hiccup is now the chief, is trying to do the best he can to accommodate all the dragons that are coming in as well as the people living there. Of course, now people have gotten used to the idea, very much so, more than the last two films, that yeah, dragons are not all bad. There's some pretty nice ones. There is, however, a Night Fury hunter who is coming for Toothless, and he sends a female Night Fury, kind of like a bright fury, if you will. And the rest of Berk is trying to do their best to get out of there and to save everyone and to find a new place for all of them to coexist. Meanwhile, trying to do everything they can to find out how to take down this dragon Night Fury hunter. I had no idea what to expect for a film like this, because this is the third trilogy of movies that is from DreamWorks. I think the first two being Shrek and Kung Fu Panda. Correct me if I'm wrong about this. One of those trilogies is great. Shrek 3 sucked. So I'm worried right now because the trailers for this movie didn't grab me either, and neither did the marketing, which we'll talk about in a second because I have to address this. And I love this film. This is great. The animation has never been better. I have to first talk about that. Hiccup in this film has a light beard, and there are individual hairs that you can see in this movie off his beard, and it's something you just notice, very subtle detail, but like wind is blowing and you can see little bristles on his cheek blowing with it. It's amazing. It's staggering stuff. One of the things I found very interesting when I was watching the credits of this film is that one of the consultants of this film is Roger Deakins, the man who is a cinematography legend, and it shows. There are several moments where you can see Toothless flying, and it's a shot. The way the shot is framed, it's edited. That's him. That's his influence right there. That way, the film is miles better than the first two films. The animation here is gorgeous. The voice acting continues to remain great. The soundtrack, John Powell once again for the third time. Beautiful stuff. The action sequences, phenomenal. Holy crap. There are some stunning moments here. There's a great use of fire in this movie, which I liked a lot. They've used it very well, not overdoing it in any way at all. And much like the first two films, even though it sells itself as this really fun, childish film, there's a lot of dark moments in this movie. Even in the first act of this film. Usually the last two films, they reserved it really to the final act of the film where things got really sinister. Here they started off on a dark note, and it kept going to that dark note until the ending. In fact, the ending is pretty close to being the darkest in the series so far. Really, I mean, this film is great. And like I said, I need to talk about the marketing though. I need to address this. Who the hell is marketing these movies? I don't know who it is, but maybe it's just me, but it's not at all what it is marketed as. There's a lot more to it. Something about it just looked off when I saw the posters and stuff, but God, that's not what it's like at all. This is a really, really great film on par with that first movie, I would say. This is, I think, better than the sequel. I would hesitate to say it's better than the first movie. I think that first one is still the best, but this comes closer than the second one did. That said, I do have an issue with this film, which I also had with the second one. That's its villain, this dragon hunter guy. I don't know, I just didn't feel the chill that I think they were going for. At points, I kind of did. I feel like he was menacing in a few moments of the film, particularly his first interaction with Hiccup. But for the rest of the film, he's kind of comes and goes, and you're not very invested in him at all, actually. That was a bit disappointing. That was the only aspect of the film which I wasn't a fan of. At one point in time, sometimes it could have been a tone thing, where it sometimes goes from a dark tone to a much more happy tone, and that sometimes felt inconsistent. But that was fine. That happens in The first two movies as well. So that's not something I would list as a major flaw. It's really just the villain. I wish that was a stronger aspect of this film. And that's it. That was my only issue. The rest of it's great. This is a great final film to a great trilogy. I absolutely love this film. It's great. I mean, it's beautiful to look at. That's just it. I'm selling you on that. Just go see the film for how beautiful it is. I'm gonna give How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, thank you very much for watching, and I want to know what your comments are regarding the marketing. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.